Hey guys, good morning. My name is Emily Roth and I am the owner and artist at Weathered Hearts. And I just wanted to come live because I'm going to be starting on the second nightstand, and I wanted to go over the steps that I took to prep this since it isn't real wood, and how I create a very durable finish on something that you can't totally sand down to get that like grit that a wood would have. So I'm going to go over my process of my prep work and the cleaning. Alright, so I am going to start on this nightstand. So the first step that I did was I added the detail, and I first actually sanded the drawer with, this is just 120 grit, and I didn't like overly sand it. I literally just kind of scraped the sandpaper across and that was it, just to rough it up a little bit and give the paint something to grip to. So I did that for both drawers. I cleaned it completely, and then I did the detailing with epoxy sculpt to add something to these nightstands because they were very bland and boring before. I'm going to show you how easy it is. It doesn't take a lot. So you can see all the marks that I'm making, and those will still be showing when after I clean it. You should probably be wearing like a dust mask. I just don't have one right next to me, so I'm just kind of holding my breath. So that is all that I'm doing for the sanding. So it's really, really quick. It's just 120 grit sandpaper. You can use 150 grit. I probably wouldn't go any finer than that because you do want to give it something to grip to. And then usually what I would do at this point is I would take Dixie Belle White Lightning, which is kind of like their TSP cleaner. It's like little like salt granules, it kind of looks like. And that I feel like is one of the best cleaners that I've used for furniture. It gets furniture so much cleaner than any other product. If you have like a piece of furniture that looks really clean and you use that cleaner, it's going to start pulling off any grime that you can't even see and you can't feel, and it kind of just lifts it up so you can scrape it away. It's really, really nice. But I already have mine packed up, so I'm just using glass cleaner, and I usually would use t-shirt rags, but I am out of those as well, and so I'm just trying to use what I have for now because we are in the process of moving. So I'm just spraying the glass cleaner on here. I am sanding this because, one, it is not real wood. It's like the press board that has like a fake wood, like, I don't even know what kind of material that is, laminate or something, over the top of it. And it's really shiny, and I want to make sure that my paint is not going to have any issues sticking to this. And so I just lightly sand it to scuff up the surface, and then I wipe it down really well. So this is what I did on the other nightstand, and that finish came out very, very durable. So I know a lot of people say that you don't have to prep the furniture at all, you just have to paint it. I just like to prep because I would rather be safe than sorry. I spend a lot of time on the finishes that I do, and I don't want to spend all the time to paint something beautiful and then have it start chipping off anytime it rubs up against something. So you can see, oh, we're blurry. There we go. You can see that's all of the dust from sanding it down. I can't remember who it was that asked me if the details come off and how durable they are. They're extremely durable. It's kind of, once they're on there and they're dry, it's really difficult to get them off. You kind of have to use like a paint scraper or a chisel, and you have to whack it with a hammer to get it to come off because it's like cement on there. So now I have it cleaned, prepped, ready to go. The colors that I'm going with are Dixie Belle Drop Cloth, which is like their warm antique white. And it's not yellow at all. I get asked that a lot if it's a yellow, like off-white color, and it's not. It's has almost a tan undertone to it. And then Dixie Belle Dried Sage, which is kind of like a sand color. It does have like the slightest undertone of a green. Vintage Duck Egg, which is one of my favorites. Very beautiful. And Stormy Seas is the other one. And that one's kind of like a dark gray, bluish green color. So this is the colors that I went with the other nightstand. You can find that on my page. I'm also going to be layering bronze patina on the keyholes and then brushing back over it with my blend of colors once it dries. And then the last step is I take Dixie Belle Best Dang Wax in black, and I'm just gonna buff that all over the piece. I'm gonna take a tiny detail paintbrush and go around all the corners and like inside the keyhole to make it look like very shadowed and kind of grungy and aged. I have my brush bouquet here. There's a bunch of different brushes. It doesn't matter what brushes you use. I just kind of grab a handful and go with it. Some finishes you want to make sure that you use certain brushes for the look that you're going for. I don't want any sort of a like super smooth finish at all, so I'm just going to start painting on. I don't care if there's brush strokes. I actually want the brush strokes for this look because when I black wax it, those the wax stays in between those brush strokes and makes it look even more aged. And then I have my spray bottle. And this is an Ultra Fine Mist sprayer. I got it at Hobby Lobby. It's originally $9.99. Use your 40% off coupon and it's $6.99. All right, so I'm gonna start out in the center with my lightest color. And I get my brush wet just because I like to keep everything very, very damp when I'm blending, because Dixie Belle dries pretty quickly, and so you want to work with it when it's wet. And I'm just going to go one drawer at a time. And it doesn't have to be perfect on the first coat. The first coat, you're just kind of, you're laying out how you want your colors to look. You can play around with it a little bit. And then the second coat is you've kind of figured out what you want the finish to look like at that point. And so you can blend the second coat exactly how you're gonna want it. This is just giving me a base and a layout of where I'm gonna be putting all the colors. So I'm going to take another brush for Dried Sage, and I'm just going to start blending outward. And then I'm going to take another brush and I'm going to blend in some Vintage Duck Egg. And then I'm going to take like a pointed brush, and with the Stormy Seas, that's my darkest color, and I'm going to go around the details, the beading. And I'm going to try to focus on keeping that at the very edge. I'm taking my Vintage Duck Egg brush and just blending out that line a little bit. So that is what my first coat is going to look like, and that's going to look like that on the second drawer. The top I didn't do that look for, that was just Vintage Duck Egg and Stormy Seas because I wanted it a little bit darker, but the sides I'm going to do the same look for, and then that bottom drawer. Okay, now I'm going to flip it around to the side, show you how to do the side. Alright, so now back with the drop cloth, and I always work with my brushes wet when I'm blending, so I'm going to need to use quite a bit more for the sides. And you even want to work faster with the sides as well, since you're covering a bigger surface area. And this is dried sage. But you can see Dixie Belle's coverage is amazing. Even just the first coat, it has really, really good coverage. I just like to have 2 coats to make sure that everything is fully covered. And I feel like that second coat also adds, it adds more durability to your finish as well. Because the first paint, or the first coat of paint is usually a thinner coat. And the sides I go over the center a little bit more than I do the front drawers, because I want the side to be just a touch more of like the Vintage Duck Egg color. I don't want it to look so intense of the middle being so bright like the drawer fronts, because that's kind of, I want the drawer fronts to be the spotlight of the piece. And the sides are more of, I still want them to have an artistic finish, but that's not the center of attention. So that is the base coat for the sides. I just wanted to hop on real fast to show you guys this process so you have kind of all of the way from start to finish of how to get this look. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I love to help out, and send me your pictures. I love to see those. But thank you guys, and you guys have a great day.